All right, today we are diving deep into a really fascinating new patent from Theta Labs, U.S. patent 12,462,164. And this isn't just any patent. It outlines a brand new architecture for how AI can handle really complex reasoning.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get into the weeds of why AI struggles with certain problems. Then, we'll unpack this tree of thought solution, see how it's actually implemented on a decentralized network, and finally, talk about what this means for the future of so-called agentic AI.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the problem. To really get what's so innovative here, we have to look past the simple stuff and understand a key limitation that holds back even the most powerful AI models today.
And this is a serious question. It really gets to the core of how standard large language models, or LLMs, work. They are amazing at recognizing patterns, at generating creative text, but give them a problem that needs structured, step-by-step thinking, and they often just fall apart. See, they usually generate answers in this linear, kind of one-shot way. That single-path approach is just not built for problems where you need to explore a bunch of possibilities, realize you've hit a dead end, and then backtrack to try something else. It's like trying to solve a maze but only being allowed to walk forward. It just doesn't work.
And that is exactly the problem that Theta's patent tackles head-on. The solution is this really elegant and powerful framework they call the tree of thought system.
So, instead of being stuck on one single track, the tree of thought framework lets the AI generate, evaluate, and go down many different lines of reasoning, all at the same time. It basically gives the AI a structured way to brainstorm and really explore all the angles of a problem. This multi-path approach is a total game changer. It means the system can compare different potential solutions, spot flawed logic early on and just cut it loose, and ultimately find the best solution way more reliably than a linear model ever could. Now, here's where it gets really cool, how it's actually built. It's not one giant program. It's a system of distinct, modular parts working together. You've got the core LLM generating the ideas. Then, a prompter agent shapes the questions for the LLM. A controller manages the whole search across the tree. A checker module validates each step to prune bad branches. And a memory module keeps track of the entire process. So you can think of this workflow as an engine that's constantly running, constantly refining. It's this non-stop loop. The LLM generates possible thoughts. The checker acts like a logic filter, and the controller cuts off the weak branches, letting the system focus all its firepower on the paths that are most likely to lead to the right answer. Okay, but that brings up a huge question, right? Managing this massive, sprawling tree of possibilities, that's an enormous amount of work. How do you actually run something like this in the real world? I mean, think about it. If you try to run a complex tree of thought search on just one machine, you'd create an impossible bottleneck. The whole system would just grind to a halt under its own weight. It just wouldn't be practical.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the old way, one computer trying to think through every branch one by one, getting stuck. And on the other, you have the new, distributed way, where you can spread the thinking across a huge network. This is the patent's second big idea.
This is the secret sauce. The patent shows how to treat each individual thought as its own little computing job. Each of these jobs can then be sent out to be processed and checked independently, all at the same time, across a distributed network of computers. So we have the theory. But where does this actually run? Well, that's where Theta EdgeCloud comes into the picture. It provides the exact decentralized infrastructure needed to power this distributed mind.
And let's be clear, this isn't some futuristic concept. EdgeCloud is real, it's operational right now. It's a platform that was literally built from the ground up to handle the kind of massive, spread-out AI jobs that the tree of thought system needs to thrive.
The real power of EdgeCloud is its hybrid design. It really does combine the best of both worlds. You get top-tier, high-performance cloud resources from partners like AWS for the heavy lifting, combined with a huge, global network of community-run edge nodes with powerful GPUs for exploring all the tree's branches in parallel. So what this gives you is this incredible mix. You get the raw horsepower from the high-end chips for the toughest parts of the problem, and you get this massively scalable parallel processing power from the distributed community for everything else. It's a flexible, cost-effective setup that no single cloud provider can really offer. So all those branches on our thought tree, they get farmed out across this huge network. This lets the system think faster and deeper, exploring thousands, maybe even millions, of potential solutions at the same time. It can find answers that a centralized system might never get to. So, Why go through all this trouble? What's the end game here? Well, this technology isn't just about solving puzzles faster. It's a foundational piece for the next big leap in AI, what we call agentic AI.
We're talking about AI that doesn't just give you an answer, but actually does things. Autonomous systems that can make plans, make decisions, and then take action to achieve a goal. This patented reasoning engine gives them the powerful cognitive brain they need to do that well.
And don't just take my word for it. Look at what researchers are saying. Academic partners like Professor Wei Jin's lab at Emory University are already using the EdgeCloud platform. They've pointed out that its unique flexibility lets them smash through the usual infrastructure bottlenecks, which is speeding up their research.
You know, this patent isn't a one-off. It's actually part of a much bigger strategy from Theta. It joins a whole portfolio of their patents covering everything from the hybrid architecture itself to decentralized streaming and network security. It shows a real long-term commitment to building the infrastructure for decentralized AI.
So to wrap up, if you remember one thing, it's this. This patent describes a system that makes AI smarter and way more dependable. And it does it by changing the very way AI thinks, moving from a single line of thought to a massive parallel exploration, all powered by a global decentralized network. This isn't just a small step forward. It opens the door to a future where AI can tackle humanity's most complex challenges, reliably and affordably. And that is a thought that's truly worth exploring.